I want to talk about another very important, huge causative factor in creating a vitamin D deficiency. There are over 1 billion people on this planet that just don't have enough vitamin D. And there's many reasons for this, whether you don't have enough sun, you don't go outside as much, you're sitting in front of a screen all the time. And the problem with getting your vitamin D just from foods, it's almost impossible because the food just doesn't have enough vitamin D. And then you have other conditions like insulin resistance, which blocks the absorption of vitamin D. Consuming a lot of sugar and refined carbs can actually deplete vitamin D, but there's something else going on that is very important, and I want you to know about it. Vitamin D can only work if it connects to a receptor, okay? So there's something called the vitamin D receptor, VDR. And most people think about vitamin D regulating calcium, which it does, and supporting bone health, which it does. But this is a very small part of what vitamin D really does. Because in the nucleus of your cell, you have a vitamin D receptor that is responsible for 229 genes. So this receptor has the ability to create a lot of different effects. So a really big function of vitamin D is immune modulation, basically meaning that it can control your immune system to a great extent. Now, if I were a pathogen and I wanted to survive, what I would do as a strategy is I would interfere with this little receptor right here. Because if I could, what would happen is the defenses of the immune system would go down, and then I can actually overtake it and actually survive. And that just happens to be one of the primary strategies that pathogens, those are microbes that cause pathology or disease. Now, this strategy is called successive infection, meaning it slows down the immune system, okay? Check this out. Here are a few microbes that interfere with the vitamin D receptor. Knockout. TB, huge, okay? Lyme, Borrelia burgdorferi, by 50 times. So it has the capacity to shut down that receptor for vitamin D by 50x. Incredible. Syphilis will do it. Leprosy will do it. Epstein-Barr virus will do it by 10%. And by the way, 90% of the population has Epstein-Barr virus. HIV will do it as well. So this is the strategy of many microbes to take over and hijack your cells. So the question is your vitamin D deficiency coming from the microbe shutting it down, or do you have a deficiency of vitamin D decreasing your susceptibility to acquiring this microbe, which allows for these microbes to invade? So number one, if you have an infection, you should be taking vitamin D. And I'm not saying that's going to cure you, but it's definitely good for the short term to actually at least give you the more help with your immune system. And you may need to take larger amounts because the ability for the receptor to absorb is downgraded. And I just wanted to increase your awareness of another reason why your vitamin D could be lowered. And check out these other videos I have on vitamin D. They're quite fascinating.